Alright, so now we're at the stables. I walked into the stables. It's quieter. The horses are probably feeling sleepy in the afternoon sun. Rolf is nowhere to be found. I take a look around. In the distance, there's a small tent away from everything else. And without much fanfare. The door's wide open. Maybe you can find someone in there. I approach the tent. I can hear some faint sounds inside, like someone moving around, and some quiet jangling. But it's oddly subdued, like the person is trying to be quiet. Maybe someone napping? I quiet my footsteps and walk into the room. As soon as I see what's inside, I'm glad I kept my noise down. The tent it's a lion, that's a cat. The tent seems like a general storage room. Tools, crates, and show props. Even a cot for napping. Cot for napping, not a cat for napping. A cot for napping. That is, until you see the centerpiece. A lion. At least twice my size, lying sound asleep in the center of the cage, in the middle of the room, whiskers and mane twitching slightly with each breath. But the rustling and jangling are not coming from him. It's Jan, standing with her back to me, right in front of the cage, fiddling with something. I think about how to warn her without waking the beast, but she turns to face me before I get the chance. What are you doing here? Shh! Don't what? Don't wake him up. What were you doing just now? What do you mean? I wasn't doing anything. Yeah, she sounds really convincing with her arms behind her back. Really? What's in your hands then? She tilts her head, only half listening. Huh? What's in your hands? She lets out a big sneeze, swinging her arms. Moved involuntarily into the cage behind her. My first reaction is to look at the lion. One of his eyes peeks open, searching for where the noise comes from. I briefly stop breathing. Jan scurries away from the cage too, stepping behind me. I take one step back and lean in to whisper in her ear. Hey, are you using me as a human shield? I think when he's finished eating you, he'll be too full to eat me. Oh, so you are scared? No, I'm not. But still, let's get out of here. Yeah, I think it would be a good idea. We tiptoe out of the tent and blessedly, the lion falls back asleep. When I finally have time to turn back to look at Jan, she's acting carefree and stuffing something back into her pocket. What are you holding? What? It's nothing. Really? Let me see. She rolls her eyes, but relents and opens her palms. Whatever. See, it's just a bobby pin. What was this what you had behind your back? I don't know what you were talking about. I just took it out of my hair because it was pinching me. What were you doing so close to the lion cage anyway? Nothing. I just wanted to see what he looked like when he was asleep. That's it? Yes, I told you, I am not scared. One. Somebody, I think, forgot to push the shift key down. Sure. What about you? What are you doing here? I thought you'd be busy preparing for your performance tonight. No, I have plenty of time. Actually, now that I have you here, we can chat. I have some questions for you. Ugh, more questions. You already asked me so many. Fine, throw them at me. I didn't ask her about Hattie, so let's do that. So, I'm new here. I knew that. I was wondering if you could talk to me about the other people in the circus. Why don't you just talk to them yourself? I will, but I'm interested in your opinions. I don't know I don't know what to talk about. Anything. What they are like, how they act, what they hate. She tilts her head and thinks for a moment. I don't know what they like, but I can tell you that what they are afraid of. Ooh, that's good to know. That sounds interesting. Now, what is Hattie afraid of? Pauses for a second, then, as if remembering something funny, she giggles. She's afraid of spiders. Okay, Hattie's afraid of spiders. Did you show her spiders? No. I put them in her bed. I will never let you know where I sleep. Are you afraid of spiders too? No, I just think they have too many legs and too many eyes and hair. What sort of insect has hair? Anyway, they're not insects, so... Anyway, back to the topic. So, do you play pranks on her often? I prank lots of people. Why? Because it's funny. Young prankster. Well, that's not very nice, is it? I'm sure she doesn't enjoy that. How do you know? She's dead. Whoa, kid, that's fudged up. I know what that word is. I live in a circus. That's fudged up. I feel like we should ask about this. I feel like we should ask about this. Like, well, where else can we go? Let's try going somewhere else first. We talked to Echo. We talked to them. I think we asked her about Hattie already. Lisa's alone in the room again when I come back. Adina's already left. Probably to perform. She's sitting in front of the dresser, writing in a notebook or something. When I enter, she barely spares a glance at me. Hi, I'm back. Are you looking for me? Sorry, just one moment. You can take a seat on the sofa over there. I walk over to the sofa. It's crammed with pillows of different shapes and sizes, fabrics casually tossed on it, and a wooden hammer. I have to push everything to the side to find a seat for myself, nestled amongst the pillows and fabrics and hammer. At first, I don't even know what to do with my hands, but then I rest them on the pillow. It is weirdly comfortable. Something in the afternoon air is making me a bit drowsy. I barely slept last night on my train here, and my neck hurts from the awkward positioning. I'll just close my eyes for a short moment. All's quiet in the room besides the quiet scratching of her pencil on the paper. Did I just fall asleep? When I open my eyes, Lisa's turned around from her position in front of the dresser. She's sitting backwards on the chair, legs to the side, facing me. The notebook she was writing on earlier is propped up on the top rail of the chair, and she's looking down at pencils quietly scratching the table. She looks up at me, then back down the paper and freezes. Sorry, I didn't notice that you woke up. And sorry I didn't wake you. You look tired. How long was I asleep? Not long at all, like 10, 15 minutes. You crashed hard. Ugh. Are you drawing me? Sorry, I was waiting for you to wake up. I can get rid of it if you want. She stands up so fast that it knocks the chair over. She clenches the pencil between her teeth and unzips her tool belt with both hands, presumably looking for an eraser. No, it's okay. I don't mind. If you want to use me as your model, all you need is ask. I can pose for you. You don't need to do that. Just stay where you are and talk if you don't mind. You'll continue? Yeah, I can sketch and talk, I think. Alright. We stay silent for the moment while she puts her chair back into position. I don't want to distract her from drawing, which is with any complicated questions about circus acts or murder, so I decide to keep it light. Is that your sketchbook? She takes a few seconds to respond. Sketchbook, right, I guess you can say that. I just doodle? What sort of things do you draw? Just things I see around in the circus, anything I think of, really. Designs, too. It's nothing, just something to pass the time. Alright, you can move now. Sorry about that. I roll my neck and stretch my legs before walking over to Elise. Before I even reach her seat, she tilts the notebook away from me. Sorry, I don't like showing. It's not done yet? Oh, sorry, I thought you were finished. No, there's still shading and things to be done, but you don't need to model for that. I can do those later. Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't want to. It's not good enough yet. She snaps the notebook shut and stands up, clutching it to her chest. When it's done, I'll show you your page. I'll give it to you. Oh, you don't have to. I just wanted to see what you had there. I'll work on it later. 1 second. She walks over to the hangers, the one The ones in front of the big crescent moon prop and stuffs her notebook deep inside the fabrics behind it. The what? The hangers? The one behind the crescent. This right here? Her voice comes back, with the mirror slightly muffled since she's facing away from me. You, before what? I'm sorry, what did you say? You wanted to talk to me before all this, right? What did you want to talk to me about? Okay, now we can talk. Okay, got a hidden notebook. Behind the moon. Yeah, I already talked to her about Hattie. I want to ask so many questions, but this whole action point system makes me like... I'll ask about Chip. I feel like... I heard Chip used to be the ringmaster of the circus before Hattie came along. She perks up. Who told you that? What are you trying to say? I'm sorry. Hattie didn't take the ringmaster job from him, if that's what you're asking. She wouldn't do something like that. Do you think that's what I was worried about? Not the potential motive for murder? That's not really what I was wondering. Does the ringmaster position come with extra income? You would have to ask Moses, but it's a lot of additional work, so even if it's extra pay, it's fair. That's not really what I was wondering either. Does losing the ringmaster job mean Chip would have also lost part of his salary? She appears confused at first, but once she understands my line of questioning, her eyes bulge in horror. That's what you were trying to ask? No, he's not. Chip doesn't care about money, and Hattie didn't. There isn't any kind of bad blood between them. Who told you that? Well, I can't. Was it Echo? He doesn't really think that Chip. He's just trying to badmouth him like usual. Okay, I see. Alright, well, let's ask about Echo then. Did you know that Echo and Hattie used to be apprentices together? Huh? Echo and Hattie, they knew each other back in the day. Didn't you know that? I think I heard something like that, but I never paid attention. They knew each other? Apparently. And, well... Well, but Echo's a puppeteer and Hattie was a magician. Isn't that weird they studied together? Not at all. Their mentor probably knew both trades. I heard both mechanics and sewing from the... I learned both mechanics and sewing from our old mechanic. But I heard that Echo actually didn't set out to become a puppeteer. He was studying to be a magician. And then he changed his mind? It's not uncommon either. I came here with no idea what I wanted to do. I'd have done anything they asked me to do. I can't interest her in any part of this story, but it sounds like she doesn't know anything about it, so I probably can't get more information from her anyway. So Echo and Hattie never talked about the fact that they knew each other back in the day. I never heard either of them mention it, but maybe I just missed it. Man, I feel like that was not the right line of questioning, but then again, I don't think we could talk to people we needed to talk to. Hey, we have 6 points now? Oh, did we get a new point? Oh, we get a new point for every timeline? What? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought we got 1 point. Well, shit. That changes everything. We get a new point for every hour? Well, we should have done that way earlier. I was thinking I was getting 1 additional point, but I get 1 additional point per hour. That was not clear to me. Oh, man. I done messed up.
Yeah, baby!
Well, I have points that I could use. Had I known that, I wouldn't have been like, oh, I'll just wait. I would have used them right away. Did they say that, or did they say that, and was I a dingus? This time I knew to check the side ring for any performances. This time I arrive early. A bunch of workers rush in, hustling the spectators away from the middle of the ring. Feeling somewhat intrigued by what is happening, I hang back to watch. It seems like they are moving the rope barrier, getting ready for a few more steps away from the center of the ring, but why? I get my answer when a woman strolls inside the rope barrier with a lighter and a long rope in her hands. She is beautiful. Her auburn hair flows in the wind like flickering flames. She poses casually, the rope in her hand wrapped around her wrist. The announcer is calling the crowd to come around for a performance. She's playing with a tiny lighter between her fingers, hiding the flame in her palm 1 second, releasing it in the next. The announcer said something about fire. I'm not paying much attention. As if sensing us approaching, she looks up and gives me a little smile. Not a particularly friendly or happy one, just the corner of her mouth as acknowledgement. The noises around us begin to simmer. There's a little mole under her left eye that almost twinkles as she blinks. I think I'm staring. It's probably rude. Yeah, probably. I tear my eyes away to see a crowd spread out around the rope barrier. The red-haired woman stands straight and without saying another word uses a lighter in her hands to light up one end of the rope. She lifts up the rope. I can see it more clearly. It's not a simple rope, it's some sort of rope dart. One end is connected to a wick, which immediately catches fire, turning into a mini fireball. She takes a step in her knee-high boots and swings the fireball out. The crowd in that direction screams, but she snaps the rope back towards her. The fire dart has become a comet, drawing perfect trails in the air through the fire dancer's quick movements. Her arm draws a wide arc, leaving the rope circling her neck. The crowd gasps, unconsciously reaching for a breath of air that they are afraid she's not taking. The flames are so close to her hair, merging into an indistinguishable blaze of crimson. And then she spins back around, her whole body drawn tight as a bowstring, and the momentum unfolds in a conscious twirl, a cyclone made of flame, passion, and skill. I have no idea how she's still standing upright after that many spins. I'm completely enthralled until I hear someone screaming in the crowd. A young girl has walked under the rope barrier. She's standing directly in the path of the flying fireball, but the performer's face is turned away in concentration. The fire dancer's head snaps back around and realizes what is happening just as the crowd begins to shout en masse. Without missing a beat, she uses one leg to pull the rope back, swiftly kicks it to the other side, and wraps it with a fire blanket in the corner. She takes another look to make sure the fire is out and rushes back to the girl. The girl is still standing back there. She finally snaps out of her daze and promptly starts crying. Hey, you okay? The little fire dragon just wanted to say hi, yeah? The girl nods. The worried parents finally manage to squeeze through the crowd. Oh my god. Darcy, are you okay? Why did you run off like that? I almost had a heart attack. Don't ever do that again. The woman wipes the tears off her daughter's face, gives her a hug, and then leads her back to her parents. And then she turns and walks toward me. Wait, me? Mr. Jones? Yes, yes, I am Jones, Detective Jones. Nice to meet you. Nadine, my name's Nadine. That's right. What do you say to some candied apples? My treat. Huh? What? Oh, sure. I'm here about... Come. She doesn't wait for my response. She steps out of the ring and leads the way back towards the vendors. What could I do besides follow? She walks in front of one of the vendors, nods, and smiles her way through some small talk and returns holding 2 candied apples. Want one? Sure. I take a bite. You know how long it's been since I have an apple on a stick of any sort? Like, it's been a really long time. Just out of curiosity, what would you have done if I said I didn't want one? She shrugs. More for me. Sweet tooth? I enjoy all kinds of vices in moderate amounts, sometimes a little bit more than moderate in the right circumstances. We stay quiet for a few moments as we chew our way through the apple. So you have questions for me? Yeah, why don't you start with... We gotta get alibis, right? Where were you from 5 to 7 p.m. on Monday night? I was in my room with my sister. Your sister? She works here too? Yeah, Jan's a circus acrobat. Jan's your sister, but we don't have the same parents. Oh, sorry. Why are you one of our parents? No. Then what are you sorry for? Just messing with you. I know that's how people usually react to this sort of thing. I'm sorry, or not sorry, I guess? Anyway, you were saying you were in the train car with her the whole time? She savors my embarrassment for a second before finally deciding to let it go and continue the conversation. Yes. Do you remember what you were doing at the time? Listening to some music on the radio, I guess. I can't remember exactly. And what happened then? Echo showed up. He was in a rush, like I'd never seen him before. He said something happened to Hattie and that I should go with him. Told Jan to stay there and wait for me, and then I followed Echo. You went to the tent. Yeah, I had to see for myself. She pauses, looking a little shaken. Elise was already there when we arrived. I think Echo called her there too. Me? Yeah, I guess he did. That's on my notes. I looked inside. She was lying there. I couldn't believe it. I went, well, it couldn't have been her with the hat. It couldn't have possibly been her with the hat. Because she was in the trailer. And Echo saw 3 people. Elise, Adine, and somebody in the hat. I went and told the other performers, Rolf and Chip, what happened. We decided to wait for Modus to decide what to do. You probably know the rest already. Okay. I've got to get information on the hat. Cowboy hat. Oh, did you borrow a hat from Chip? Yeah, it's a cowboy hat. I borrowed it Monday, but I don't have it anymore. I already gave it back to him. Why did you borrow a cowboy hat? Sorry, but that doesn't seem like your style. Well, maybe you just haven't seen all sides of me yet. Okay, that's it. I guess we do have a contradiction, but I don't know what it is. What if we get it wrong? We don't lose an action point, do we? I feel like maybe Echo's statement and the hat could be a contradiction. Okay, that did not cost me a point, did it? Did it cost me a point? I sure has. Hell, hope not. What's the contradiction? There's a contradiction somewhere. I just don't know what it is. Okay, that didn't cost me an action either. I'm not quite sure what the contradiction is. I feel like it's with the hat. Oh wait, I have more stuff over here. Oh, I have more stuff over here. I feel like one of these statements must contradict her statement. What was Jan's? No, that's not a contradiction either. What's the contradiction? I don't know what the contradiction is. Like, we can't, it wouldn't be with people. I'm the contradiction. Watch the murder turn out to be half related. Well, I guess we technically don't have to figure it out right now. We can come back. I just don't know what it is. Chip says she borrowed it on Monday, and she says she gave it back on Monday. So that is definitely a contradiction. I just don't know how to like. I don't know how to highlight the contradiction. Oh, there it is. Okay, I guess I never did that. Aideen claims she stayed indoors on Monday afternoon, but Echo saw Aideen wearing the cowboy hat he borrowed from Chip outside. Why did you really borrow the cowboy hat from Chip? I don't know, I just liked it. Why does anyone borrow anything? Well, I think there's a reason. Fine. Why do you think I borrowed the hat then? You were trying to impersonate Chip. Me? Why? Who did you think I was trying to trick? The moment I showed my face or opened my mouth, my impersonation would be toast. If she's trying to pin this on Chip, it would be pretty stupid to just walk to him and borrow the hat. Come on. Come to think about it, there's no way she'd know Echo would spot her from that far. Planning to wear the hat in advance makes no sense. But then why did she borrow that hat? I remained in thought for a while. She's not nervous at all, just staring at me calmly before tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. That's right, her hair. You need the hat to hide your hair. That way you can go out without being recognized by the other circus staff. Perhaps that was the plan. Sometimes being different has its burdens. Well, okay. Not being recognized, but unfortunately it started raining on Monday afternoon, so I didn't go out. I stayed in with my sister like I told you. So it wasn't you Echo saw wearing the cowboy hat and coming back to the trains around 7? He saw me? Why didn't he say anything? Right, the hat. He thought I was Chip. Well, that wasn't the plan. So let me ask you again, where were you between 5 and 7 on Monday? You are right, I wasn't in my trailer. So yeah, Jan is lying too. But I wasn't with Hattie, I promise. I went out earlier in the afternoon before the rain started. I think it was a bit after 5 in the or 3 in the afternoon. Was there anyone else with you? Yes. I was with Rolf the whole time. We were planning to take a walk around the field, see the country sights. But we didn't realize it was going to start raining, so when it started, we were stuck under a tree for a while. We were hoping we could stop quickly, but it would stop quickly, but it didn't. When the storm finally eased a bit around 6:30, we decided to start to walk back. We got home around 7. I went straight to my trailer. The rest is all the same. Echo came knocking not long after. I went with him and informed the others. So if I ask Rolf, he's going to corroborate the story. Sorry, I asked him to keep it a secret. If you told him what I just told you, he'll tell you the truth. Okay. So that means Jan lied to us. She's planning on running away and becoming a cowboy. That sounds about right. Alright, well, we've got, so that's a contradiction for Jan, then. Who we can't see. But we can't go to train car 3. I'm in. I should take a look around, see if I can find any clues. Yeah. Oh, here. Oh, I didn't notice that it tells you who you didn't get the alibis for. I didn't notice that. That's pretty cool. Aquamarine glass shards are scattered on the ground. Seems like something was broken here. And it's not hard to figure out what. On the nearby shelf, several more glass trophies are neatly arranged, looking pristine and polished. Upon a closer look, they seem to be magician awards addressed to Hattie. She clearly took great pride in them and cared for them accordingly. It's hard to imagine someone as clean and organized as the owner of this room would leave glass shards lying around. Which raises a more interesting question. Who broke it? And when did it happen? Does that mean someone else came in here after her death? This table is cluttered but organized. Books, notebooks, and various magic props are placed across the table. Quickly skim the books for anything related to knife throwing. Nothing. Among the vast collection of magician books and manuscripts, nothing even mentions a knife. Disappointed, I take a second look at what's on the table. That's when I notice there's a small shelf and a drawer to the left side. It's not locked. I slide the drawer open. Laying inside the drawer are some personal letters and a pair of glasses. The lenses are thick and curved. I feel dizzy when I'm peering through them. These are not cosmetic glasses. They are for nearsightedness. Do these belong to Hattie? No one mentioned anything about her vision. Interesting. In the drawer in Hattie's room, I found a pair of nearsighted glasses, but as far as I know, Hattie didn't need them. Is anyone in the circus nearsighted? Who would they have belonged to? Why are they in her drawer? Mountain of luggage is stacked at the back, tied down with ropes, probably to prevent it from falling over when the train starts. This all Hattie stuff? Maybe they're using the extra room in her train as storage? She's the only one that gets a whole train to herself, after all. Framed clippings of Hattie's appearances in newspapers. Admiring it, I have the morbid thought that if she weren't dead now, she'd certainly have a lot more press stories on her disappearance to add to the collection. A printed photo of an older woman dressed in an elegant robe with a silk shawl looped around her arms, stretching them out to the audience. Is it another magician? Clock. These are the trophies. A few glass trophies are proudly displayed on the tall cabinet. They look pristine and carefully placed. Not a single scratch or chipped edge to be found. Maps. Oh, there we go. A few maps of the United States are taped to the wall with colorful stickers and markings that are added by the owner. Seems like a way to mark all of the cities she was visited or performed at. Okay, there's drawers. Looks like things in the bed. I already clicked that. The plan I can't click. This thing I can't click. I clicked those already. I clicked that. I clicked that. I think that might be all. I think that's it. I think that's all I can click in here. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's all. The hat rack, no. The windows, no. Light, no. The clock, no. That, no. The plant, no. Okay. I got a few clues. Okay, I got 2 action points left. I guess we'll talk to Rolf. When I walk in, Rolf is already standing in the middle of the circus ring without any props or bells or any whistles. Simple, warm lights illustrate the inside of the big top. I clearly see the face of people sitting across the ring. Rolf rubs his hands together a little nervously, uncomfortable with the entire tense eyes on him. Hi, I'm Rolf, the animal trainer. I have a horse riding show for you coming right up. He signals to the staff. The music starts playing in anticipation. He turns around and vanishes through the stage curtains. A few moments later, I hear a telltale sound of a horse gallop. Rolf bursts out through the same fluttering curtains on horseback. He's on a majestic black stallion with a mane that practically glows beneath the big top light. A few light trots later, they charge in the center ring, bathing in the audience. One hand gripping the reins, he pats the horse on the back and starts racing in circles around the ring. I haven't seen many horses in my life, but I always thought professional riders were supposed to be short and slender. Is that true? Rolf is possibly the biggest rider I've seen. His long legs and wide shoulders would probably look funny on any other horse but this one. But together they look perfectly balanced and they are one creature, not two. 2 laps later, Rolf swings one of his legs over the horse's head and dips 2 legs straight up to the side as he's preparing to leap. But then he lifts his entire body up by holding on the saddle to his side, hanging parallel to the horse's body as if he's levitating. The crowd erupts in cheers. I can't really see the expression on his face as the speed he's moving, but he quickly pulls himself back onto the horse and waves with both hands. Horse jockeys are small, yeah. Rolf rotates as the horse circles. He never stops changing position. I never have guessed he had such flexibility. The way he moves on the horseback more closely resembles a gymnast than a jockey. He rides backwards, upside down, and finally stands atop the horse, which never stops galloping. He then whistles, and a brown horse charges out from behind the curtains. Without any other directions from Rolf, the new horse enters the ring and positions himself beside the black horse. Rolf leans down and gathers the new horse's reins, the opposite hand as the black stallion's. Then, to the crowd's delight, he lifts one foot to step on the new horse's back. At first, he keeps his head low and holds the rein tightly, but a couple of circles later, he gradually stands up straight and aims his eyes at the crowd. As a staffer approaches the side of the ring with a flagpole, he frees one hand, grabs the flag, and waves it back and forth. The crowd leaps to their feet for a standing ovation as Rolf's final lap, Circus flag waving back at them in appreciation. He whistles to slow the horses down, jumps to the ground, and takes a bow. Thank you. If you like the performance, please give a round of applause to my buddies Obsidian and Pancake. Thank you so much for coming. We'll be back next hour with a great juggling show for you. Please stick around. Again, thanks for coming. He turns around to return the horses to their stables, whispering to them and smoothing down their manes as they walk. That's when he sees me in the crowd. He nods in my direction and gestures for me to wait. Sorry about that. I had to bring the horses back first. They'll just throw it awkwardly. So I see you've managed to find your clothes. Spare clothes, in this case. I have to thank you for your help, though. No worries, happy to be of assistance. How are things going with the case? Good. I want to ask you some questions. Alright, I got 2 questions. I gotta ask about Hattie, right? Oh no, collect an alibi. I guess I'll ask the alibi first. Where were you on Monday afternoon at the time of the murder? Let's see if he lies to me. I was in the stables taking care of the animals. Was there anyone else there with you? Yeah, Elise was taking a nap inside in the back room. Nap? Does she always take naps in the afternoon? Not always, but arrival days are especially tiring for her because she has to handle the props and set up tents. She was up before dawn that day. I didn't want to make noises and disrupt her rest, so I decided to go to the stalls, give the horse a little bath, brush their manes, get them ready for the performance, you know? That's what you spent your entire afternoon on? Yeah, the manes are all dirty and tangled for the trip. It takes a lot of time to brush them. So, look, he's fiddling. So, when did you learn about what happened to Hattie? I don't really remember that time it was, but later in the night, Aideen came to find me and told me what happened. Okay, well, there's a contradiction there. We already know that. We already know there's a contradiction between his statement and Aideen's updated statement. So, Aideen already told me the truth, that you were together on Monday. She did? You sound very surprised. Yeah, because she was the one who wanted... Why did she tell you? I'm a detective. I kind of have that effect on people. Oh yeah. So, care to talk to me about your side of the events? We were just out walking, but then it rained and we went too far out to run back, so we had to wait until it eased up. Do you remember what time you left and when you came back? We left together around 3:30, we came back around 7, and Aideen went back to her trailer. So, what did you do afterwards? Well, I went back to the stables at first, but then I realized that my horse, Obsidian, had broken his door and run out, so I went looking for him. It took probably half an hour to find him, and came back. By then, Aideen was waiting for me at the stables, and that's when she told me about Hattie. Okay. Sounds legit. Who did it? Man, we don't really have a guilty party. The most guilty party right now is Jan. We really haven't talked to Moses about much, so... Alright, what do I have to do now? Inquire about Hattie. Well, we gotta ask Rolf and Moses about... We haven't asked Moses about Hattie? Well, first let's use our experience to get another action point. Man, I'm so disappointed that I didn't know that this was like for every time slot. That's so disappointing to me. As I approach the small tent, I hear faint voices from people inside. A serious discussion. The two parties are trying hard to prevent from getting heated. I hesitate, not sure if it's a good time to interrupt, but before I can make a decision, the people inside spot my shadow. They shut down their conversation abruptly. Who is it? It's me. Sorry if it's not a good time. Too late. Another jovial voice cuts in. No, come in. Don't worry about me. I think that's when Moses finally recognizes my voice. Wait. Really? Come in, please. I hate to hold up your business. As the stranger speaks, I can already hear him get up and walk towards the door, eager to see who it is. Moses hesitates for a second, but before speaking. Of course, come in, please. He does not sound happy. I suspect the reason Moses asked me to wait was more to do with my situation than finishing his not-so-pleasant conversations, but it's too late to react now. Whoever this stranger is, he is definitely too important for Moses to override and too nosy for his own good. I need to be ready to cooperate with whatever Moses' play is. I enter the room with slow, deliberate steps. A middle-aged man dressed with an expensive suit approaches the door. He's below average height, but moves with an air of importance around him. There's something about his face, perhaps the bulbous red-tipped nose or the practiced smile, but that seems oddly familiar. He takes me in, then looks back at Moses with an exaggerated shock. There she is! With the way you've been talking, I almost thought she was dead or something. Guess I don't need to worry after all, huh? Moses winces. It's discreet, but I notice it. Of course, there's no need to worry. Forgive my manners. I almost forgot you two haven't met before. Hattie, this is Senator Price. He's an investor. Senator, this is the amazing Hattie. He adds a very subtle emphasis to Hattie. I nod slightly to let him know I understand. Nice of him to slip in a little hint. Senator Price never met the real Hattie. Good to know. Don't need to worry about my voice and mannerisms. It's nice to meet you, Senator. Please, just call me Richard. Richard Price, of course. I knew I recognized him from somewhere. Before he entered the political arena, Price made his name as an entertainment tycoon with investors in theaters, radios, movies, you name it. You name it! Of course, you'd have to share, and of course you'd have a share in the circus industry too. We're just talking about you. Where have you been for the past few days? It's kicked up quite a ruckus in the papers, you know that? What's with the mask? Oh, you are not trying to go all Zorro on us, are you? He starts laughing at his own joke before I get a chance to respond. And no, I should probably refrain from asking if he has done anything that deserves to be Zorro'd. Well, it's related to why I was away, really. You see, I was trying to develop a new trick for the show, but I got in a little accident. Let my voice waver for a bit. Hence the mask, cover the scars. Let's not talk about it if that's okay. Yes, of course. I'm sorry I was being insensitive, wasn't I? A lady's face is an important matter. I've certainly learned that lesson in the years I spent waiting for my wife to put hers on. Of course, I can see you are a very sensitive man, Senator. I can see Moses trying to hold back a laugh. Oh, no. I'm an absolute brute, as I've been told by Cynthia. That's my dear wife. Many times before, and please, as I said, just call me Richard, I insist. Of course, Richard. I was just talking to dear old Moses about you. Well, about your circus, more specifically. Moses stands up behind the desk, eyes darting between us. I don't think there's no stopping the senator when he gets going, apparently. You are the star performer here. Perhaps you can give me your 2 cents. You know the industry isn't what it was before, and I understand that. Truly, I do. But even with the crowds you draw in, the circus has barely managed to keep the books in the black. I don't know if you have a head for money, but in short, that's not a great sign. The circus isn't making money. I barely managed to conceal my surprise. I can't hear Moses' teeth clench. He clearly didn't mean for me to hear this. The vibe in the room turned stilted and awkward, but Richard isn't done with his little speech. I know that your boss wants to take care of everyone, keep them fed, they're the winners and all that, and that's a good cause. I respect the common man as an elected official. But as a businessman, I'm not sure this can go on for much longer. I'm not going to tell you that money keeps the world turning, but you both know money keeps the circus running. Ho-ho! And I'm glad you're okay, Miss Hattie. Such a relief. As long as you can keep the people buying tickets, I'm sure you will be invaluable to the circus, accident or not. Your beautiful face is not all they come to see, is it? They're here to see the magic in action. Not sure what to say, so I just nod, but finally Moses speaks. And as I was telling you, you don't need to be worried. He doesn't even look at me. There are notes of hardness in his voice, a steely resolve. Senator, I trust you are familiar with how the press works. What you called a ruckus in the papers only proof that she's a big deal. Wouldn't you agree? Of course. Those sharks only care about whatever keeps people reading, and she clearly does. So you know that Hattie's a great performer, and her reputation only keeps growing. She's the reason we can still draw such a crowd in this day and age. As long as she's here, his voice cracks. As long as she's here, I promise you, I can keep the circus running. Just keep it running and make money, and making money. I keep my eyes on the ground anywhere but on Moses' face. Okay, well, I got some info. Richard laughs, his voice booming through the quiet, small room. He pats Moses on the shoulder. Well, that's all I wanted to hear, old friend. He turns back to me. Thank you, Miss Hattie. I'm sure we'd still be having a different conversation if you weren't here. Well, that's all I came here for, really. He starts walking to the hangar to fetch his suit jacket. Well, sorry for keeping you both. I've got to get into town now. Business awaits. You know how it is. Goodbye, Miss Hattie. It was a pleasure to meet the so-called greatest female magician of the decade. And goodbye, old friend. Say hi or don't to that idiot son of mine. What is he talking about? Guess I'll have to ask Moses about that, along with many other things. And just like that, he's out of the room, leaving me and Moses alone. I can only stare at the door, dumbstruck by what just happened. Finally, Moses clears his throat. I have to thank you, Miss Jackie, for your cooperation. Sorry you had to hear that whole conversation. It's okay, but is it true that he pointedly pretends like he hasn't heard my question? Now, I believe it's best for us to go back on track. You came on seeking counsel. What do you need my help for? He clearly doesn't really want to discuss the elephant in the room, but I can probably press him about it if I want. Well, first off, I need to ask him about Hattie. Because apparently, even though I had quite the conversation about her before, I still need to ask about it. How did you come to know Hattie, anyway? Well, I knew her a long time ago, even before she was known as Hattie. You see, she was an apprentice of a friend of mine back in the day. Well, that's interesting. So, Echo, you and Hattie have a connection. Okay. Write that down. Alongside Echo. Oh, he said that. Alongside Echo, actually. When he took her on, it was quite a surprise in the small magic community. I'm not quite sure how it is in Europe, but here it's quite rare to have women studying or performing magic, especially one that's not related to an established magician. So at the time I heard about it, when he took little Robinette. That's her. Apparently that's her actual name. On Robinette. That's her name. Oh yes, the Amazing Hattie was something she came up with later with the help of her mentor, stage name, as we call it. That's the R on the letter. But why? Why go for a different name? I can imagine why she wanted to change her original name. A good name is important because you want people to remember you, recognize you, and follow your performances. The Amazing Hattie is better on all these fronts. That is interesting. Okay, well, let's ask. Wait, how do we ask about the? Well, I don't know how we even ask about that. Well, we have one more person to ask, and then we can finish this one, which is Rolf, I believe. Do we have the option to see Rolf? Damn it, we don't. Dang it. Dang it. Burger. Okay. The only person I have left is... So I don't have a whole lot to do. I mean, I can ask questions here and there, but overall... I mean, I guess I'll ask him about. I guess maybe I'll ask him more questions about this. Doesn't give me anything though. So I've heard something. Is it true that before Hattie came to the circus, Chip used to be the ringmaster? Most of the pauses examining me with piercing eyes, searching my expression for something. Yes, but where have you heard that? Might have been suggested that I created a rivalry between him and the victim. No, that's a stretch. Did Echo tell you that? The who is not important. I had no idea things between them had gotten that bad. Well, I want to hear more about this ringmaster business. You must have been involved in this decision, right? How did it go down? It's nothing dramatic, like what you must be imagining. When Hattie decided to move over to our circus, I gathered Chip and Hattie together in a room and proposed making the changes. It was not only because Hattie was the more popular performer, but also because the changes are good for the audience, who grow tired of our routine. And how did Chip react? He accepted immediately. I had no way to know what he actually thought, but he was agreeable and gracious. He even helped Hattie prepare for the role and taught her his tricks for hosting. I didn't think it was a big deal for him when it happened, and I definitely don't believe it would have caused problems over a year later. Okay, what about the money? When I asked you about Hattie, you said you knew her mentor, right? And something about her apprenticing alongside Echo. That's right, they were apprentices together for an old friend of mine, a magician. So is it true that Echo used to study magic? Huh? He pauses, squinting his eyes for a second. Think so. It's been a while. Right, I remember, yes, at the time before Hattie joined, Echo was the only apprentice and he was learning everything, including the magic tricks. So why did he stop? Why? I don't know. You'd have to ask him. Besides ventriloquism, Besides, ventriloquism was also something his mentor did. So it's not like he stopped, more like he chose a specialty. Have you ever seen him perform magic? No, now that I think of it, I have not. So he just stopped. I'm not sure what you're getting at. Did this change happen before or after Hattie joined as an apprentice? It was around the same time. Yes, wait. I don't believe that he stopped because of Hattie. Why would he? That doesn't make sense. But it's certainly curious that these two things coincide, isn't it? I suppose there must be a more reasonable explanation. Perhaps you should ask him. If he really did, he wouldn't tell me the truth. But for what it's worth, I really don't think it's that complicated. Maybe he just didn't like performing magic. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what else to ask about. Well, hey, we got everybody. I guess. Who don't we have with the detective then? Okay, I don't know who else to ask and. I mean, I guess I can ask about this financial crisis thing. About what you said to Senator Price. He closes his eyes and lets out a quiet, I knew this was coming, but motions me to continue. You told him that as long as Hattie keeps performing, the circus will stay profitable. You know what I said. I know what I said, and it was true before. Was it? He laughs coldly, taking off his glasses and looking down. Was it? That's a good question, isn't it? Business is the most unpredictable thing in the world. No one can say with any certainty how anything will go. I know that, and of course Richard knows that too. He's a businessman, but you still said it, and it looked like he believed it. No, he doesn't. He asked so I needed to be the one to make promises. He knows that I know nothing is certain, but at least this way in the future he can hold me to what I said. You knew it was shaky at best, but you still said it. Well, yes. What else was I going to do? He'll be happy with the answer, and I'll be happy. He's not asking more questions. I'd say that's good enough for now for both of us. Okay. I don't know what else to ask. Yeah, I think we're done here. I don't know who to talk to now. Takes you not for someone to respond. Says, doors open, come in. Nadine, sitting at the tea table, a book in her hand, looks up from the book and gestures for me to come inside. Oh, you found your way here. Want a cookie? Sure, I'd love one. Do you want to sit? Make yourself at home. What are you reading? Oh, just some story to pass the time. A cookie? Yes. That's a food. Let's add food. Oh, we should add another food for the apple. Forgot to add the food stuff. Because we ate the apple too. So that's 2 foods. She gestured casually at the book, but I catch a familiar part of the title. Is that Sherlock Holmes? Which one? Her eyes light up and she pushes the book closer, leaning over the table. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You've read it too? I've read some. That's one of the short stories, right? Yes, I have the longer novels and the other short story collections as well. Well, I own them. I can only carry so many books when we travel. She gestures over to the small book stand on the other side of the car. Well, what's your... Oh, this is the other... Wait, no, this isn't. This is the other side of the car. I was like, this... I thought they flipped the car, maybe. Well, what's your favorite story? Guess. Is it Scandal in Bohemia? Why do you say that? It's the first story in this book, so I'm hedging my bets. Just kidding. Irene Adler is a great character. I figured there's a lot about her that might relate to. She's American, beautiful, intelligent, and a performer, among other things. She laughs slightly. Well, thank you. That one was Hattie's favorite among the ones we read together, but I don't know if I can or want to consider myself eclipsing the predominating the whole of my sex. I'm just a woman, not the woman. If I have to pick my favorite, I would actually choose the last one in this book, The Adventures of the Copper Breeches. I don't know if I've read that one. You have to pause for a second to remember that story. The one with the governess? Yes, I do love Adler, but I relate to Miss Violet Hunter a little more. Without family or friends to seek advice from, she wisely found Holmes and Watson to consult upon receiving a suspicious job offer. When her employer made particular requests, like asking her to cut her hair, wear a particular dress, and sit with her back to the window, she had a piece of mirror in her hand to see what was going on outside. She even stuck into the forbidden wing of the house to try and uncover the truth. Who among us hasn't agreed to do some questionable things for money? But she held her own, conducting her own investigation, and found the silver linings in her situation. There's one more thing I bet you like. Huh? She also has a magnificent head of hair. Ah, that's true. It's so nice to find a fellow enthusiast. I forced Hattie to read a few with me, but she wasn't into them, and it's too early for Jan to hear some of these stories. Of course, I'm always happy to chat about them, but I don't know if it's, I want to ask, as a fan of detective stories, do you have any thoughts or guesses about this case? Well, I'm not Holmes, am I? She reaches back to the book, fingers sliding over the pages deep in thought. She's also wearing different clothes. I'm not going to lie and say that I've never thought about what would happen if I ended up being the one to make the deductions to crack the case. But now that I'm encountering a mystery in real life, I realize how foolish that is. Real life isn't a book. There are so many things going on, so many people, and I know all of them, or I think I do. How am I supposed to know? I read these books knowing I'll get answers at the end. Never have I thought about how cruel it would be for people to live with the uncertainty. If only Holmes really existed and he could come to investigate. If only. She shuts the book and pushes it to the side, forcing a smile at me. Sorry, I've been completely distracted by book talk. I don't even ask. I didn't even ask if you needed anything. You gave me a cookie, though. Right, it's nothing important. I just wanted to chat. Did I? Let's ask her about that. So Hattie's name is actually Robinette. She changed it because it's too much of a mouthful. She didn't really change it. She just had two names. There's one she uses for herself, and there's the one she uses for the show. Plenty of circus folks do that. I think it's easier for them to do that, for them that way, to compartmentalize. There's a part of you that's there for the show, for the audience. It's always amazing, and then you keep the rest to yourself. So is there anyone else in the circus that uses a stage name that I don't know about? She pauses to think. I don't think so. But maybe I just don't know. Now that you mention it, Echo doesn't sound like a real name either. Or maybe his parents are as weird as he is. Either way, I think that's the name he goes by with everyone, so it's not a stage name in the same way that the Amazing Hattie is, you know. Have you ever thought about having one? No, but I'm just lazy. Besides, people pronounce my name 1,000 different ways. So it's kind of like having a bunch of different names anyway. That's valid. And what about you? Ever thought about having a fancy big name? Or, I'm sorry, I shouldn't assume. Maybe Jackie is already a stage name. Kind of. It is kind of one. What does that mean? It's closer to Echo's situation than Hattie's. I just prefer it. Does that make sense? Makes sense to me. Okay. We have 2 action points left. Let's ask about her. I hear Jan seems to be a little bit of a prankster. How much of... We still have 25. Has she ever pranked you? I live with her. What do you think? I hear something about spiders in Annie's bed, and I really don't like spiders. Is there a reason for pranking people? She seems to not have liked Hattie. Is that why? I told you she messed with me, and I would hope she likes me. She chose to stay with me so far, after all. What do you mean, chose to stay with you? You didn't know? Know what? You heard about her pranks, but you didn't hear that I adopted her? As a sister, of course. I don't even think she knows why she does it, to be honest. I'm sure if you ask her, she'll say it because it's funny. It can be funny, as long as it doesn't involve spiders on me. So you say you think you know why she pranks people. And it's not because she dislikes them or because it's funny. I eagerly anticipate a straight answer. Instead, she stays quiet for a moment. Cigarette ashes fall on her dark dress like a gentle snow flurry, quickly swept away by her nimble hand. I've seen plenty of kids like that before, you know? Did I tell you about where I grew up? No. Well, long story short, I grew up in foster care. I went in and out of many houses, stayed at a children's home between families. Oh. Don't be like that. It was an interesting time. You can ask me more about it later, but wait, what was I gonna say? Right, when I was growing up, there was one kid in the system. She holds her chin in one hand, deep in thought and despondent. I don't remember his name anymore. Everyone called him Rang, short for Boomerang, because he kept getting sent back. Every time he came back to the house, he'd give me a new reason that got him sent back. The kids even started a tally, and he made a game of it. Stole money from the foster parents, set his bed sheets on fire, punched his foster brother in a sensitive area, threw food on the ceiling, dyed their neighbor's dog yellow. That's funny. Ripped all the wallpaper out of the house. The adults thought he just didn't want to stay, but I could tell it wasn't like that. So I asked him, why do you do these things if you know they're gonna get you sent back? What did he say? He said, if I don't do them, how would I know what things if I don't do them, how would I know what things would get me sent back? I'm not sure I understand. Of course you wouldn't. With all due respect. She sighs. let me put it this way. No matter what you would do, your parents would never send you back. But for us, for Rang, sometimes we just gotta test the waters. There was always a line, cross it, and back you go. If you don't know where the line is, then you'll never know where they love you or whether they love you or a fake version of yourself trying to be perfect. I think I'm beginning to get it. So Jan, she nods. That's why you let her. As counterintuitive as it may seem, she has to make trouble because she keeps thinking, is this when someone will get mad and send me back, even though she doesn't want to be sent back. So what do? Just let her? We wait, react to the prank, but not to her. The only thing that will convince her is time. I see. You will make a good mother one day. Sorry to disappoint, but I don't think I want to be a parent. Oh, well, you're already a great big sister. She ducks her head and laughs, seemingly ready to move past the heavy conversation. I have one last question, though. What happened to Rang? I don't know. He left with the family again, never came back. Maybe he got lucky and this time there was no line. Or maybe he left before he could be sent back again. Maybe he died. Maybe the boomerang got stuck in a tree. Oh. Did you know Jan's name means swallow, like the bird? They say they found a barn swallow that flew from Britain all the way to Africa to spend its summer. They say swallows fly south for the winter, but always come back for spring. Oh? Yeah, thought it was an interesting story. It is interesting, I mean. And a story. Okay. I don't know what that got us, but I guess it got us some info. It didn't give us any, like... Who do we talk to now? We can talk to Echo. We got one more action point left. Do we have, like, something on Echo that would, like, be something important? I don't know. Let's see if she's got our thing done yet. Oh no, we can just talk to her. Who do you think did it? Who do you think did? I don't want to be. I'm not convinced anybody did it. Wait, don't we have a contradiction here? Oh no, we do with the detective, not with her. Okay, let's just ask her about this. Why do you play pranks on Hattie? Because it was fun. I think she would have disagreed. But what I meant is, you didn't like Hattie, right? Dean likes her. Is that a bad thing? Yes, that means she'd want to spend time with her. She'd be sitting in a room together and Hattie would give me $1 and send me away to get popcorn. You don't like popcorn? Don't be stupid. She gave me money because she wanted me to go away. She wanted me to go away because she wanted to talk to my sister alone. And that is a bad thing? It's not good. You know, sometimes people are talking and when you walk into the room, they just stop. I'm a mind reader. People always stop talking around me. Because they're scared you'll find out about all their secrets? Yes. So they have secrets and she doesn't want me to hear it. That's a very bad thing. Well, now that I know what's up with Aideen and Hattie, she's right about the secret, but wrong on her guess. Also, Hattie, seriously? Money to get some popcorn? What were you doing with Aideen? What do you think she was doing? Alright. It's time for a break.